Shannon Taylor, the executive director, and we have a special guest in the studio today, Jim Cohen, composer, songwriter, attorney, the founding attorney of our organization, and we're going to present his songs. We're going to present special treats. We're playing a tape tonight, and we're having an in-studio guest and songster. So this is something that we don't do too often because it involves a lot of work. And I don't like to do all that kind of work there. And it really is a little much. But for Jim and for our studio audience and for this type of music, it's really worthwhile. So I'm going to turn you over to Jim to explain his background. He's an attorney extraordinaire. He has an extraordinary list of clients, so it's none of your business. And he has a gentleman of extraordinary goodwill. His family has accomplished much in the state and the city. It's dear to our heart as longtime members of Blacks and Jews in Conversation, and not just Blacks and Jews in Conversation. And with that, Maestro, I turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, Shannon. I head up a 10-attorney tax and estates group within a law firm, Kleinberg, Kaplan, Wolf & Cohen, that I helped to found in 1971. And I like to think there's some creativity in that for sure. But this evening is about a different aspect of creativity, which is music and photography. Most of the songs that I've written have been love songs. But the most recent song that I wrote is an inspirational song that was in part inspired by this program. I was to meet Pete Seeger. You will actually see his show later sometime in the future on this show. I was lucky enough to sit next to him and sing some of his songs and to sing the next song that I'm going to sing, an inspirational song, Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam, Hebrew for repair the world, fix the world, heal the world, an idea in all religions, I believe, that we are charged with going out and making the world a better place. So this is a song on that theme. Each time I say Tikkun Olam, I repeat repair the world, and then in another language, French, Spanish, Arabic, and so on. There are so many pieces broken in this world. There's cruelty and loneliness, there's prejudice and pain. There are so many pieces broken in this world, and I can only mend them one by one. Tikkun Olam, repair the world. Tikkun Olam, regalar el mundo. I can only mend them. I can only mend them. All alone I can just mend them one by one. Sometimes so many pieces rain on me and you. So many pieces fall, and seems there's nothing we can do. But if you will work with me, and I will work with you, we can mend those broken pieces two by two. Tikkun Olam, repair the world. Tikkun Olam, Gerir Lamon. You and I can mend them together, me and you. Yes, you and I can mend them two by two. There are so many pieces broken in this world. There's ignorance and cruelty and so much needless pain. But if everyone who hears this song will get a friend to come along, together we can make a healing chain. Tikkun Olam, repair the world. Tikkun Olam, Nishlei El Olam. We together we can heal them. We can surely start to heal them. A mighty change to do. Tikkun Olam. Together we can heal them. Join hands and start to heal them. Make a mighty wave to do. Tikkun Olam.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Pete Seeger said that was a beautiful song as soon as he heard it. And coming from Pete Seeger, that's a mighty wave of compliment.
Well, it was certainly a thrill to be on the show with him, and I look forward to seeing that aired as well.
Is this the first time that you've performed this song in public?
It's the first time that I performed it, certainly in this kind of public. I've sung it at a nursing home and at a synagogue and in a couple of other places, but surely in this sense.
But on television?
Absolutely, the very first time.
So we claim credit for releasing this on the public airways, but the copyright is yours, and you certainly asserted as such. Tikkun Olam is from the Talmud, and God creates an imperfect world. He creates a world that is with hurricanes and floods and volcanoes and disease and all the unpleasantries, and that does not lead to the global warming we know of. That's man's part, and man, instead of making it worse, is supposed to make it better. It's supposed to be repairing the world, not adding to the miseries, but repairing it. And that's the message of your song. Am I right?
Absolutely. And in that connection, of course, as you say, as a pro bono matter, I created initially Blacks and Jews in Conversation and got its tax exemption. And these days work mightily when I'm not doing legal work or writing songs or taking photos, all of which we'll talk about some more. I work on the executive committee of the Abraham Fund, whose executive director you've had on this show as well, Ami Nashan. And the Abraham Fund does coexistence programs and initiatives between Jews and Arabs within Israel, programs to try to bring those communities together and to live in the same place in equality.
I must say that Mr. Nachshon had not, besides having an extraordinary background and expertise, was one of our better guests. He was, besides quite loquacious, he was responsive and he was engaging. And I thank you for that introduction. He came through you. And I might add that through our sojourns with the Anti-Defamation League, they formed various organizations, some of which you helped to pioneer. What are their names from the Anti-Defamation League? They escaped me.
I prefer. Let me come back to the Abraham Fund, if I may, rather than those organizations. I'd like to also say a word about Alan Slifka, a client of mine and a friend of mine, who helped co-found the Abraham Fund. It was his vision many years ago, and I'm pleased to have helped him and Ami and other wonderful people in their cause.
What was it took forever for the tax exemption, not-for-profit 501(c) educational status, and you worked like a horse. And the video that hopefully we'll get on the DVD will show some beautiful horses, and that I never can stop commending you for all your beautiful efforts on our part. And we are now, of course, for many years enjoying that status thanks to you. You also came to Honorable William Thompson for a project of his, if I'm not correct, yes?
That's correct. And now to perhaps transition, since you spoke about horses, let me spend a minute and talk about some other things that I've done. I have been an amateur photographer for many years, taken many photos. And there is a program on Apple that lets you put together whatever photos you'd like in a slideshow and then add music to it. In this instance, the music that I've added to these slideshows is my own music that I've written the words and music to. And I was just messing around with that some years ago when a friend of ours, a wonderful friend, Lolita Newland, said, you shouldn't mess around with this, you should record it. So she took it. She works at BMI, and she took it and she had some people down there. It was arranged and engineered by Shane Gu. It was the guitar and male vocalist Kelly Schoenfeld, the female vocals Nanette Bohannon, and that together with 3 sets of photos and 3 songs. The first set of photos is Good Man, Good Horse. It's meant to be a joke, really. My wife rides with a number of women who are single, and they are always comparing, maybe my wife does too, their guys to their horses and their horses to their guys. And so the name of the song is Good Man Like a Good Horse. Is hard to find. The next song, and the photos there are mostly of Puerto Rico, where we have many friends and have owned a home for over 30 years. just love the scenery and the people and the whole life there. The second set of photos and song is Mi Corazón. If you're listening to a Spanish love song, anytime you're listening to a love song in Spanish, even if you're not paying any attention, all of a sudden in the background you'll hear the words Mi Corazón, my heart. You're not just my love, you are Mi Corazón. And that's the second song. And the photos, again, mostly of Puerto Rico, snuck in a couple of India, actually, but mostly of Puerto Rico. And the third song is a song that I wrote for my wife on our 40th anniversary. It's photos. It's based on photos from out my window. We look out on the East River, and I've taken just thousands of photos out my window. These are some that I like, and it goes with the song "Purple Clouds," a love song that I hope one day you'll sing to a woman you love. With that as a background, perhaps you'd like to go to the videotape. I believe this is called the
not just my love, you are me, corazón. You are my heart, you're mi corazón. You are my heart, you are me, corazón. Walking down the beach as the moon starts to rise, moonlight in your hair, shining in your eyes. Gentle breezes blow, the silver moon is shining bright. Mi corazón, my darling, will you be mine tonight? Every Spanish song has the word corazón. You're not just my love, you are me, corazón. You are my heart, you're mi corazón. You are my heart, you are me, corazón. Come and dance with me, we'll hold each other tight. Salsa and merengue, we'll dance away the night. I feel the beating of your heart and everything is right. Mi corazón, my darling, will you be mine tonight? We're in each other's arms, your lips as sweet as wine, close as still closer till our souls and bodies ride. I feel the beating of your heart. I'm lost all sense of time. Mi corazón, te amo. Forever you'll be mine. Every Spanish song has the word corazón. You're not just my love, you are me, corazón. You are my heart, you're me, corazón. You are my heart, you are me, corazón. Every Spanish song has a word, corazón. You're not just my love, you are me, corazón. You are my heart, you're me, corazón. You are my heart, you are me. You are me, corazón.
Purple clouds floating by on a warm summer sky. Sing a song, you and I together. As the sun slips away toward the end of the day, you and I paint the sky together. Twilight and deepening shadows anticipate the night. Bird songs and whispering breezes witness to our vow of love tonight. Purple clouds fade to gray at the end of the day. Magic time, how we run together. Even when you're not beside me, I still hold a dream of you. Souls intertwined, my darling. Whatever you desire, I will do. Feeling warm and secure, wanting you and nothing more. I know our love will endure forever. Feeling warm and secure, wanting you and nothing more. I know our love will endure forever.
Hello, and that was quite beautiful.
Thank you, Shannon. I
And
appreciate that.
not only the photography, I'm a photographer too, but I take usually people who are dead, laying on the ground, and I'm a news photographer. I'm a spot news photographer. I'm somebody who sees a disaster, something like Arafat being kicked out of A.V. Fisher Hall, and reports the news. Not beautiful photography. I try. Don't think I don't try to get the beautiful photography like this, and the beautiful sunsets, and the juxtapositions of the tugboats, and see the imagery captured by lovers. I know your romanticism. You're romantic at heart with the horses of Puerto Rico, with your spouse in mind and all that, and I am too. But at the same time, something about the news still captures my photographic aim. The skills are in your hands.
The photo you mentioned, actually, of the two tugs almost touching, has become a poster for the National Arts Club that they're using. They're planning to sell at a very modest price to their members in the hope of raising some money to fix the facade of that wonderful arts club, the oldest, I believe, and certainly very significant arts club here in New York City.
I'm a member next door of the Players Club, and for 10 years through the 92nd Street Y, I did combined tours while they were on good terms. Every once in a while, like neighbors, you're on good terms, you're on bad terms. We had lunch at the Arts Club. Oldham James is a dear old friend, and of
my wife's and mine as well.
And I remember seeing your wife scheduled beautiful exhibits there, and she had very famous poets presenting works over there, and I look forward to seeing your artwork and your photographs. And the Alden and the Arts Club was just in the news about a Nobel Prize winner that was just selected from the Arts Club. But tell me about the estate tax exemption that perhaps may apply to all of this.
Sure. Well, I don't know if it applies to all of this, but I have mentioned this in a few places, and it's one of those things I think you can talk about easily in a non-technical program, in a relaxed, but it's actually something of concern to me. As you may or may not know, the federal estate tax law has exemptions, amounts that until the estate gets larger than that, there is no tax. And so in 2009, that exemption is actually $3.5 million. In 2010, there's no estate tax, federal estate tax at all. There's 100% exemption. And then in 2011, the law goes back to the estate tax being $1 million exempt and a 55% tax, so that somebody with an estate of even a few $1 million might go from paying, the estate might go from paying no estate tax to paying millions of dollars of estate tax. I feel that that's a very dangerous situation, and one I hope Congress will fix. I expect it to be fixed, but people haven't thought about it just in terms of fairness or appropriateness, but also just danger. In 2009, at the end of 2009, I think some people will keep old folks alive who shouldn't, who unnaturally, in order to have them live until 2010. And I think in 2010, you really can expect some murders because there's millions of dollars involved here, and it's just a terrible law the way it stands now for many reasons.
Well, when it comes to taxes, I'm certainly going to defer to you. You're the guy who got us our status with the 501(c)(3), and
501(c)(3).
Well, whatever it is there,
either way, whatever.
and I rely on that. We've been through a succession of treasurers since, and we really have never even done a fundraiser. And we really should, and certainly you can do it through our website. And tell me, do you have a website for any of the charities you'd like to mention while we're on the air?
Well, certainly the Abraham Fund has theabrahamfund.org. I think that's the one I'd like to mention. I know that Blacks and Jews in Conversation has a website, I believe.
Yeah, well, I took it off the screen in deference to your beautiful montage. It's njbjc.org, and we're in the process, believe it or not, of revamping our website, of upgrading it once a couple of years. I get a couple of people for Passover. Slavery gets back and forth in Passover. We get a few more people, interns who have gone on to scholarships through our mentoring and internship programs. And so we're going to do that, but it's njbjc.org.
And while we're doing websites, if someone can't go to sleep at night and are looking for some information about a law firm, they can look at kkwc.com, which is my law firm's website. And while we're at it, let's talk about esquireappraisals.com, my wife's website for her fine arts and antiques and jewelry appraisal business.
Well, Lee Drexler has been on here many times, and we're beholden to her because we did a wonderful program for educational purposes, of course, this being a non-commercial program, for Sotheby's and Christie's. And they did an unprecedented opportunity for us where we walked into the American side of the auction house for a special American show, and we had a bird's eye view, and Lee was the guide. And now we have the better half, or the worse half, as
I'll deal with it either way.
Either way. Now, explain to me the inspiration of Puerto Rico as the backdrop for the montage for some of those songs. You could have
Oh,
you placed one in New York and Manhattan. I have misgivings about Manhattan, even though this is a Manhattan audience. You certainly found the best of Manhattan to show in your pictures.
Oh,
How about Puerto Rico?
there's plenty of music about Manhattan, right? I mean, New York, and we'll take Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too, and on and on. Lots of music set in New York, so I take exception with New York not being a good place for music. But the inspiration of Puerto Rico it's simply, I think the creative moment is hard to identify, but one of the things I think you need to be is a little bit relaxed, and certainly one of the places in this world that I'm the most relaxed and the most content is when we are enjoying our friends and our place and and the world in Puerto Rico, and so that's how it became a background to several of the slideshows that I've done. As the New York setting with all the it's just so many of the shots that I took out the window were of sunsets or sunrises that the idea of purple clouds floating by, which is the song, suggested to me that they should go together.
And the horses, how long have you been in equestrian? I went to Tufts, Lee went to Jackson. I started equestrian riding then. I haven't kept it up, but you and Lee still ride with the same vigor?
Well, certainly she rides many times a week, particularly in Puerto Rico. She'll ride every day. I'll ride perhaps once a week. The rest of the time I'm playing tennis. I don't think we can do much musically about tennis, but there's a tradition there called a cavalgata, which is a cavalcade, a movable party. You get on a horse anywhere from 10 people to perhaps 100 people and go riding over the island, different beautiful places, and you stop periodically and sing and drink and eat food and talk with your friends, and then you get back on the horse and you ride some more, and then you do the same over and over again. I always say the objective at the end of the ride is to be facing the front of the horse and not fall off. But it's a wonderful way to spend time and to get to know people and to see the interior of the island that you wouldn't otherwise see.
We have about a minute left. Our organization, of course, extends to Hispanic, African American, Jewish, Asian, Italian, Irish. Do you have any final words about the organization?
Yes, I think it is. It's been the sort of center of my charitable life to try to convince people that you have to take people one person at a time. You judge them as you think they are, and not for any of those things that you just mentioned. Respecting one's own background and their background, and being interested in it. Still taking the people, each person you meet, one at a time. The very message of Pete Seeger that you helped further in your recent show.
Thank you. A great pleasure and honor having you on, and I hope to have you on again and with more songs and a great success in the future.
Oh, thank you very much.